Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we're just reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and hoping you're relishing the readings and finding some taste in the Bhagavatam yourselves. So where are we?
Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 37.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 37. O learned Brahmana, I want to occupy a position more exalted than any yet achieved within the three worlds by anyone, even by my fathers and grandfathers. If you will oblige, kindly advise me of an honest path to follow by which I can achieve the goal of my life.
Pretty clear.
Purport. When Dhruva Maharaj refused to accept the Brahminical instruction of Narada Muni, naturally the next question would be what sort of instruction he wanted. So even before Narada Muni asked, Dhruva Maharaj expressed his heartfelt desire. His father, of course, was the emperor of the entire world, and his grandfather, Lord Brahma, was the creator of the universe. Dhruva Maharaj expressed his desire to possess a kingdom better than those of his father and grandfather. He frankly stated that he wanted a kingdom which had no competitor within the three worlds, namely the higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. The greatest personality within this universe is Lord Brahma, and Dhruva Maharaj wanted a position even greater than his. He wanted to take advantage of Narada Muni's presence because he knew very well that if Narada Muni, the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna, could bless him or show him the path, then certainly he would be able to occupy a more exalted position than any person within the three worlds. Thus he wanted help from Naradaji to achieve that position. Dhruva Maharaj wanted a position greater than that of Brahma. This was practically an impossible proposition, but by pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a devotee can achieve even the impossible. So it's like, I think we were saying before, Dhruva Maharaj at the end of the day is a kid. It's not a man. It's not even a teenager. It's a boy. So it's like in his childlike impudence.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I want, if they have an argument, then I'm going to get something 10 times better than you. You watch, or I'm going to do this. That sort of like mentality, which obviously does overflow into adult life as well. So you can imagine him thinking like that. I want to plan it better than you, Dad, and I want to plan it better than my granddad, and like that. And but the thing is, by pleasing his spiritual master, he gets it. He gets fame or whatever, power and whatever position, regardless of the fact he's a kid, because he pleases a pure devotee.
Powerful point. Yeah, I thought there was just in this verse and first part of the paragraphs, a lot of things in there. First, Dhruva refused to accept the Brahminical instruction of Narada Muni. So we were just reading this night before last with our mentorship group, some of the verses that we already read, and discussing it, which we like to do, and we strongly encourage other devotees to please discuss with, because it's nice to hear other devotees' reflections and their understandings or their realizations. But we were just discussing this, how the first order was treat your seniors with respect, treat your peers like friend, and treat juniors with compassion. That's very much a extrapolation, and that afterwards Dhruva Maharaj said, I can't accept this order. That's good for a person who's like very elevated, but that's not me. And I think it's interesting, just because this kind of topic has been coming up again and again, and with Mother Irmala's book, Career Dharma. Just this idea of understanding what is our nature and what are we inclined to. So I thought this first sentence was really powerful because it says, Dhruva Maharaj refused to accept the Brahminical instruction of Narada Muni. Naturally, the next question would be what sort of instruction he wanted. So, although you were saying like it's the nature of a kid to say, well, I want something better, which, yes, I get that, but it might not be the nature of all kids. Some kids might not do that. Some might just go and sulk. Some might say, they don't sulk, but they just say, anyway, it's not that big of a deal. And there's not. So there will be different types. That's the thing. So it's interesting because, yeah, I mean, and of course you're saying, I want something better than my dad, better than my granddad, but then Prabhupada qualifies who the dad and the granddad is. It's like your father is like a Prajapati who's like, overseeing the, universe. And then your grandfather is Lord Brahma, hello. So although, that doesn't make sense actually. I'm sure I'm going to have to check this out because what was his father's name? Uttanapad. And Uttanapad's father's name is not Brahma. Brahma is not the father of King Uttanapad. I think it must be should be grandfather and great grandfather, I think, right? Maybe his father. I need to check this out.
Okay.
So there's another paragraph. If you know now, you can just put it in the thing because his father is what did I just say, Uttanapad, and Uttanapad's brother is, I'm pretty sure, Priyavrata, and their father I thought was like Swayambhuva Manu, and then his father is Brahma. But listen. One particular point mentioned here is that Dhruva Maharaj wanted to occupy an exalted position, not by hook or by crook, but by honest means. There's another amazing, wonderful point. Yes, he wasn't trying to kill off his father to get it. He wanted it, and he was willing to speak to a sadhu to get it. Great. This indicates that if Krishna offered him such a position, then he would accept it. That is the nature of a devotee. He may desire material gain, but he accepts it only if Krishna offers it. There you go. Dhruva Maharaj was sorry to refuse the instructions of Narada Muni, therefore he requested him to be merciful to him by showing a path by which he could fulfill his mind's desires. Yes, interesting. Yeah, so the mind has its own way of thinking. I'm sure we've all experienced that. Anyway, nice points. Very good pastime.
Alright, text 38. My dear Lord, you are a worthy son of Lord Brahma, and you travel, playing on your musical instrument, the veena, for the welfare of the entire universe. You are like the sun, which rotates in the universe for the benefit of all living beings. Purport. Dhruva Maharaj, although a young child, expressed his hope that he might be offered the benediction of a kingdom which would exceed in opulence those of his father and grandfather. He also expressed his gladness that he had met such an exalted person as Narada, whose only concern was to illuminate the world like the sun, which rotates all over the universe only for the purpose of benefiting the inhabitants of all planets. Narada Muni travels all over the universe for the sole purpose of performing the best welfare activity for the entire universe by teaching everyone how to become a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus Dhruva Maharaj felt fully assured that Narada Muni could fulfill his desire, even though the desire was very extraordinary. So here Dhruva Maharaj is praising his spiritual master and his good fortune that he met him. He feels that he's duly qualified to basically fulfill his desires.
I just quickly had a look, and my suspicions were correct. Swayambhuva Manu is the son of Brahma, and Swayambhuva Manu had two sons, Uttanapad and Priyavrata. And Uttanapad's son is Dhruva. So, then I had to look at this, and it says, even by my father and grandfather, and that is arrived at may we unto Bruhi, please tell Asmat, Pitri B, by the forefathers, father and grandfather, Brahman, oh great Brahmana. So it's arrived at because it basically says that he wants a planet more exalted than any achieved within the three worlds by anyone, even his father and grandfather. Yeah, his father, yes. So actually it should be grandfather and great-grandfather.
Alright.
Sorry, I get hung up on these kind of things. 838, no, yeah. Yes. Second paragraph, right? The example of the sun is very significant. The sun is so kind that he distributes his sunshine everywhere without consideration. Dhruva Maharaj requested Narada Muni to be merciful to him. He pointed out that Narada travels all over the universe just for the purpose of doing good to all conditioned souls. He requested that Narada Muni show his mercy by awarding him the benefit of his particular desire. Dhruva Maharaj was strongly determined to fulfill his desire, and it was for that purpose that he had left his home and palace. Yeah, so in that way, that Kshatriya propensity in nature, he was upset. Dishonor is worse than death. Now he's going to get a sort of revenge, and that revenge is not violent, but it's like, I'm going to show you by getting a planet higher than yours, and basically I'm determined to get it.
Text 39, the great sage Maitreya continued, the great personality Narada Muni, upon hearing the words of Dhruva Maharaj, became very compassionate toward him, and in order to show him his causeless mercy, he gave him the following expert advice. Purport. Since the great sage Narada is the foremost spiritual master, naturally his only activity is to bestow the greatest benefit upon whomever he meets. Dhruva Maharaj, however, was a child, and so his demand was also that of a playful child. We did say that before.
You did.
Still, the great sage became compassionate toward him, and for his welfare he spoke the following verses. Yeah, so as we said, he's a child, he's making childlike requests, but the fact that he's connected to a pure devotee, in this case Narada Muni, he is reciprocated with by the Lord. This is the power of a pure devotee.
Okay, so this is Narada Muni speaking to Dhruva Maharaj. He says, the great sage Narada told Dhruva Maharaj, the instruction given by your mother, Suniti, to follow the path of devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is just suitable for you. You should therefore completely absorb yourself in the devotional service of the Lord. Jai. Dhruva Maharaj's demand was to achieve an abode even greater than Lord Brahma's. Within this universe, Lord Brahma is supposed to be in the most exalted position, for he is the chief of all the demigods. But Dhruva Maharaj wanted a realm beyond his. Therefore, his desire was not to be fulfilled by worshipping any demigod. As described in Bhagavad Gita, the benedictions offered by the demigods are all temporary. Therefore, Narada Muni asked Dhruva Maharaj to follow the path recommended by his mother, to worship Krishna, Vasudeva. When Krishna offers anything, it is beyond the expectation of the devotee. Ain't that the truth? In both ways. Both Suniti and Narada Muni knew that the demand of Dhruva Maharaj was impossible for any demigod to fulfill, and therefore both of them recommended following the process of devotional service to Lord Krishna. Okay, so this is important, that the idea is that, if you want to get something permanent, something lasting, and achieve the highest goal, you can't go to any demigod for that. You have to go straight to the source, and the source is Krishna, Vasudeva, Vishnu.
Okay, next paragraph. Narada Muni is referred to here as Bhagavan because he can bless any person just as the Supreme Personality of Godhead can. He was very pleased with Dhruva Maharaj, and he could have at once personally given whatever he wanted. But that is not the duty of the spiritual master. His duty is to engage the disciple in proper devotional service as prescribed in the Sastras. Krishna was similarly present before Arjuna, and even though he could have given him all facilities for victory over the opposing party without a fight, he did not do so. Instead, he asked Arjuna to fight. In the same way, Narada Muni asked Dhruva Maharaj to undergo devotional discipline in order to achieve the desired result. I like this term, devotional discipline. One has to undergo devotional discipline in order to achieve the desired result. Just as that's the last line. Just as Krishna was present for Arjuna, he could have given him everything, but he made him work for it. In the same way, the pure devotee and Krishna, they could have blessed Dhruva, you poor boy. Your stepmother's so horrible. Your dad's inadequate. Here you go, but he still worked for it. He did some pretty major austerities. It's interesting, and sometimes you feel like that, tests and tribulations in your own life, and you're like, what is this? Because there's maybe some underlying assumption that you should just be, like Prabhupada says, God is your order supply, and more so when you take to Krishna consciousness, because I'm a devotee, chant Hare Krishna, I read the books, so why is it difficult for me? But some austerity or devotion or discipline has to be there.
Interesting.
When we look at the devotional discipline or austerity that, the Pandavas went through in Draupadi, and actually wait a minute, all the devotees of the Lord in the Bhagavatam. How did I get myself into this?
All the greatest devotees go through the greatest tribulations. Prahlad Maharaj, all the residents of Vrindavan perpetually under attack by demons.
What is this? What is going on, Krishna? I got cheated by some halava.
Well, is it cheated? the highest path. What is it they say? The road. No, what is it?
The road to hell.
No, that's not that one. Anyway, the path less traveled. I think it is.
That
is the path less traveled.
No wonder.
Okay, so I think we'll finish here.
Alright, call it a day.
And I will pick up next time. See you all later.
See you later. Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam Ki.
Jai.